this video, I'll be showing you how to make your own version of Geometry Dash in GDevelop. First thing we will want to add is our player character. So I'll just add a sprite, rename this to whatever you want. I'll do player, and then you can create with Piscal. I already have an image, so I'm going to use that. And for my tiles, I'm just doing 32 by 32 for the size. Okay, now that we've got our player, we want to add behaviors to the player. So we'll search up camera, and we'll do smooth platformer camera. This will add everything we need: platformer object, smooth camera, and smooth platform camera. And you can make any of these settings however you want, but I'm gonna make them what I've found is pretty good for Geometry Dash. So we'll do 1500 for the gravity. We'll set max falling speed to 500. We want jump sustain time 0. Make sure this is 0, like basically no matter what, because if it's not, then, well, I mean, unless you want it different, but if you have this not 0, then if you hold down jump, then you'll jump higher than just if you click jump. Now we want this all just left alone. And down here, oh wait, no, we need these set to 1. And then down here, we'll drop this advanced properties. I'm pretty sure we just leave all this alone. We will change the camera offset to 100 and -20. And that should be it for the behaviors. Now let's go ahead and add our ground. So we'll add this as a tiled sprite. I'm just going to name it base tile. Now I'll choose my file. I've just gone ahead and made everything just like the white tile set from Geometry Dash because I'm not good at pixel art. And then we will add a half tile. And these will both have the same behavior in them. So for the base tile, we'll add the platform behavior. And for the half tile, we'll add the platform behavior. And we'll make sure to go up here and show our grid. If your grid is not the same size as your sprites, then you'll want to set up the grid. Mine's set to 32 by 32. And then we'll also change the background color to black because it looks good with the white tiles. And now this all works. But we don't want to be able to run around. So we'll come in here and go to the behavior. And we'll disable default keyboard controls. So now that we won't be able to move. Now for our first event, we'll add at beginning of scene. And then a trigger once. And then we need to add a force to the player to make sure the player is constantly moving. And we'll do 300 on the X and 0 on the Y. And we'll do a permanent force. And we also will want to zoom in the camera because it's really far out. You can make this whatever you want. I'm going to just zoom it in by 2. Then we also need to center the camera on the player. So we'll center the camera on an object and select our player. Alright, now if we start this, our player moves on its own. Now we need to add controls. So we will add a new condition and add an and. And for the sub conditions, we'll do, this is whatever you want to make the player jump. So I'm just going to do key pressed spacebar. And then you can add as many of these as you want. That's why we have the and condition. So like Geometry Dash, I think, has up arrow, spacebar, and mouse click. I don't know if it has space, but I'm going to do spacebar. And we'll do mouse button pressed or touch held. If you have this one, then you can also play this game on mobile. So we'll have that. And then for our action, we will simulate the jump key. Oh, I just realized that this is not the right one. This is if all the conditions are true. We need or, not an and. So we'll add these to the subcondition of the or, and we'll delete the and. Another thing we need to do is, I don't think I changed. Yeah, we need to change the jump speed, so it says 700. And it should be good to go. There. Now our character can jump. So I think the next thing we need to add is spikes. So we'll add a sprite. I'll just call this spike. Import the image. Okay. Now we can add this to our scene. And we don't need to add any behaviors to the spike. We just need a new event. So the first thing we need is, actually we should add a object group. So make a group, I'll just call it spikes, and then we'll add all of our different spikes to this. So right now I only have spike, so we'll add that. And we'll add a new condition, collision, and then collision between the player and the group spikes. And if this happens, then we'll delete the player and change the scene. Back to the normal one. Okay. So now it just resets the scene when you die. But since we're deleting the player, and we can actually make it look better if we add a new object and do 2D particle emitter. And let's do explosion. I'm gonna do explosion 1. I'm gonna just rename this to death particles. And change the color. Just change it to like whatever your character looks like. So mine's like green and blue. Let's change that one to green. This one to blue. And now we want to create an object. And we'll create the death particles at the player center. X. And just copy and paste this and change it to player center Y. And then we will add another action, wait. And we'll just wait however long you want. I'm going to do 0.5 seconds. And we'll have it ordered like this. So we'll create the object, delete the player, wait, and then change the scene. So now if we die, it does a little particle effect. Next thing we need to add is, the next thing I think we should add is probably a bouncer to add some variety to the gameplay. So add a new object, make a sprite. I'll just call this bouncer. Import the image. And then we've got this. So this thing will just bounce you a certain distance. So whatever you set the gravity to is how far it'll bounce you. So I'm going to set the gravity so that it bounces you 8 tiles. So we'll come in here into the events and add a new event. And for the condition, we can actually just copy and paste this and change this to bouncer. And then for the action, we'll change the gravity of the player. And we'll set it to 700. Then we want it to simulate the player jumping. Simulate jump key. Then we'll wait 0.7 seconds. And we can copy and paste the change gravity and change the gravity back to wherever you have it. So we'll change this back to 1500. The next thing we can add is a different like game mode, like spaceship or UFO. And I think let's do UFO to start off with since it'll be the easiest. So we can add new object, add a sprite, and this will be the portal. So I'm gonna make this UFO portal, and I'm gonna have two different sprites. I'm gonna have one for the actual portal and then one for the background of a portal, so it makes it look like you're going through the portal, but you actually only need one. So I'll import this. And my portal I think is 128 by 128. And then I'll import make this a sprite as well. You don't need this second one though. But I'm gonna use it because it makes it look better. Well, at least I think it does. I mean, it doesn't really look that much better, but it's all right. And I'm gonna set the backing to behind the Z order of the player. So my Z order of the player is 2, and I need this -10. Now we need to add a new animation to the player. So we'll add an animation, add a sprite, and this will be your UFO sprite. So I've just made a little UFO. I'm gonna name this. And now we need to add the events. So for the condition, we're gonna make collision. We'll just copy and paste the bouncer one, and then trigger once. And change this to UFO portal. And for the action, we will change the gravity. And I will set this to 1200. And then we need a behavior on the player. And an easy way to do this without like all the gravity and like forces and stuff is we'll just use oh right, we need to add a double jump extension. Advanced jump. I think I already have it. So yeah, you'll add advanced platformer movements. That's what I already have installed. And then we'll go to our player, add the behavior. I don't even know what it's called. Advanced. Well, what is it? Oh, this. Coyote time and air jump. So we'll just set this to like 1,000 because you shouldn't run out of that. And then we'll go back to our events and we'll want to activate the behavior of player and we'll activate advanced jump. Yes. So then up here at the beginning of the scene, we'll want to copy and paste this and add this up here and then change this to no. So it's disabling double jump at the start of the game. And then we'll also want to change the animation. Change the animation of player to our UFO or whatever you've made it. So now if we play this, okay, that's great. Now if we play this, we turn to the UFO. But now we need a way to turn back. So we'll do basically the same thing. Add sprites for our cube portals. Add both if you have both. Cube portal backing. Drag them into the scene. And now we can basically just duplicate this for the UFO and just change this to cube portal. And then we'll change the animation, set this to cube, and set the gravity back to 1500. And we will disable the behavior. Now if we play this, we have the UFO, and then we turn back into the cube. Alright, and every geometry dash level is coins. So we'll add our coin object as a sprite. Import the image. And there we go. So we'll drag this into the scene and go to our events. Now we need pretty much just this, just copy this, and then change it to the coin. And then delete everything in the action. And we'll add delete the object. We delete the coin. And then we need to make a variable. So I'm going to make this a global variable. And we'll just add a variable, name it whatever you want. So I'll name this first level coin. Make that a number. And then we'll come here and change the variable value of first level coin set to, oh wait, no, we need add one. So we'll add one. I've just got the stuff already in here for level 1 for my, I've made scene already. Okay, now we need to add a death counter, because that's always good. See your attempts. So we'll add a text object. I'll just name this death counter. Use this font. Make it whatever size you want. I'm gonna do 60. And then it doesn't really matter what it says in here. I'll just do attempts, and then drags into the scene. Oh yeah, you change the color. Okay. Now, in the code, we will want to. Okay, now we'll do attempts, or we need to add a variable for attempts. So right click on the scene, open scene properties, add a scene variable, and add a variable. I already have one because I messed up and had to retake the clip, but it's fine. Then we'll apply and add a new event. Now we need to change the text. I don't know why I keep searching up change. Did it again. Change death counter, and then in quotations, whatever you want to say. I want mine to say attempts. And then you'll do plus outside of the quotations, plus global variable string, and then brackets. Inside the brackets, call whatever your variable is. Mine's deaths. And then no. Oh my, I did it wrong again. Okay, no, this is not a global variable. This just needs to be attempts. Sorry. Okay, what? Is that not? Oh no, I didn't call it attempts. I called it deaths. Okay, I'm brain dead right now. Okay. Now, when we die. Oh, I didn't die. Okay, when we die, it'll. What are we doing? What? Oh, we're not adding it yet. Okay. I'm not. Okay. Just duplicate the change variable and add it up here. And add 1 to deaths. So when we preview this, it's adding 1, but it's just resetting it. So we actually need to save this variable. So we will do, what is it? We'll do in here, we'll save text, I think it is. We'll do save a text. And I'll just call it death. And do deaths. And for this, we do 2 JSON. and whatever your variable is. So mine's deaths. And then up here at the beginning scene, we need to load. So we'll load a text, deaths, or death, and then deaths, and then your variable, what you want to load into. So we want to load into deaths. Alright. Oh, okay, I didn't die. When we die, it'll now save. Alright, now one of the last things we'll be adding in this video is collision with like the tiles. Because like you could like, okay, wait. You can just smash your head into, okay, I just jumped over it. You can smash your head into this and it just does nothing. So we'll make it so when you jump into it and you hit the underside, then you'll die. So we need to add another group. And this will just have all of our tiles, so I'll just name it tiles. You add my half tile and my base tile, and we'll create. And then in the events, we can just copy and paste the ones for spike and change this to tiles. And we also need the animation. Animation is your cube. You don't need to make it just a certain animation. Like you could have it if you hit your head as a UFO, then you also die. Then just don't include the animation part. But I'm gonna make it. You can only die if you're a cube and you smash your head. And then we also need position. So the Y position of player is. Oh wait, no. We need this to be tiles. If the position of tiles is less than player dot y, and the reason it's not greater than, it's less than, is because the y is like negative going up, so we want it to be less than. And we'll do less than. This should all be good. I think that's good. We'll add our tile in, test it. There. Now when you smash your head, you die. Alright, that's going to be pretty much it for this video. In the next one in the series, I'll be adding like an end screen, or not like, or yeah, basically an end screen. Like you can get to the end of the level and it like shows your stats, like how many coins you got. Because right now, like you get the coin, but it doesn't show. So show how many coins you get. You can restart the level, and you can actually finish the level. And then I'll also make a video for level select screen, main menu, probably rocket ship mode, and juice, like sounds, effects, and just making the level look better. So if you enjoyed, then consider subscribing and leave a comment down below with some feedback for the video or things you'd like to see.